What is up, guys? This is Trav, back again to review another movie for you. I guess that's going to be my movie review intro. I'm going to have to figure something out because I need to figure out something that's similar to my food review intro, but not quite the same because this is a movie review. So last night, I saw Rampage, the movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson starring in it, and this is directed by the same guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but it's by the same guy that did San Andreas, and I do believe that movie came out in like a couple years ago, somewhere around there. We saw it in the trailer. There's some kind of thing that comes down from space that that three different animals find. The three different animals from the original arcade game: the wolf, the crocodile, and the gorilla. They all find this thing that like makes them bigger, makes them start to grow. And I'll start off with this. For a movie to take this property, a game property that's based on nothing, like it's literally just you're thrown in the game, you're just thrown right into like being these monsters, eating people, smashing buildings, without any kind of backstory, the movie did something really kind of nice. It's not a great movie, it's not winning any Oscars, but this is the true definition of a very kind of cool blockbuster summer movie. And like I said, I'm a sucker for monster movies. I'm a sucker for monsters battling it out in the city. So the stuff with that in the movie was really a lot of fun. There was a couple times that had my heart racing, adrenaline rush kind of going, and I was really excited. The Rock, let's talk about him first. He really can't do any wrong. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson pretty much plays himself in every movie. Like, I'm kind of like, pretty much like that's okay. Like, I forgive him. Like, he was a wrestler and now he's an actor. You can't really... You know, same thing with Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, he was also a wrestler, and he's actually becoming a successful actor for Drax. And with The Rock, it's the same thing. Like, he's in these movies, and he's actually a great actor, and I love him. I won't give away any spoilers, but Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in this movie because you see him in the trailer. People are calling him Agent Negan because he literally acts just like Negan. He's even got the lean. He's just a leanin'. He's literally leaning like about that much. Because that was an exaggeration. But this is pretty much Negan. And talking very cleverly slow. But Jeffrey kind of surprised me. I actually kind of liked him in the movie. And I was really happy because I was like, the more Jeffrey Dean Morgan there is, the better. The more clones of Jeffrey Dean Morgan there would be, the better. What this movie surprised me with was the relationship between George the Ape and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character. Did not expect it. Didn't expect there to be that much heart in this movie. I expected dumb monster fun, monsters bashing each other. That's what I got. But I also got a very kind of heartfelt little touch backstory that I didn't expect. And like, there's some scenes that are a little bit emotional. Like, they really dive deep into some serious stuff in this movie. And like, does it take itself really seriously? Yeah. Is it kind of like weird when it does in certain scenes? Yes, but mostly like it's not one of those things where it's like a confusing tone. It stayed pretty like consistent throughout, trying to stay this specific tone, and I liked it because if they would have just been like, make it about the monsters, have like no people and all this stuff. That's what a lot of people are expecting out of new Godzilla movies. Just make Godzilla the main character and and just like don't show any humans. That like, you gotta have a human story. Like, you gotta make it relatable to what's going on now, because Godzilla and Rampage and all these monster movies are happening in our time, in our modern day. You gotta have some sort of human story, and the fact that they showed The Rock having this like ape that he basically raised, it really reminded me a little bit of Chris Pratt's character and Blue from Jurassic World. It really kind of, there was certain scenes that are like, it's reminded me of that a lot. The way that like he raised this raptor, same thing in this movie. He basically has watched over this ape its whole life, and I love that it's an albino ape, by the way. I just love that they changed that, because in the original game, he's a regular brown, like, just with brown fur ape, and the fact they made him unique a little bit makes it more special, and I know for a fact that, my brain is telling me that the reason that they made him an albino ape so that they don't confuse it with Kong, because Kong Skull Island like just came out not long ago, and if they see like this big ape that's not albino running around in the movie trailer, then they would probably confuse like a regular audience that doesn't know what the heck's going on. Like, they won't know what that is. And the fact that they made albino ape just completely separates George and Kong completely, and I love that. I love that they made him kind of unique. The villains in this movie are just okay. They're not like the best thing ever. This businesswoman that has a kind of nerdy partner, you know, it's a very cliche thing, but they had their place in the movie. It wasn't like it was completely out of place. But could you have not had that part of the storyline at all? Yes, you could. They could have totally avoided that. So that in itself, that is probably the biggest problem. The end monster fight literally has to be my favorite sequence. It's a lot of fun, adrenaline rush out the butt, and it's just like really like, it's a lot better than I thought they would make it. I thought it would be kind of this like really slapstick, stupid action, not really like a lot of work put into it, but it was actually good. CGI looked good. Between the ape, the wolf, and the crocodile, like they all looked good, but one of my favorite scenes of this movie is the introduction of the wolf. That thing is terrifying, like, and I saw it in the XD room in my theater, and XD is basically like better sound and a huge screen. The whole wall is the screen. Like, it's smaller than IMAX. It's not as big as an IMAX screen, but it's still like bigger than a regular theater room, and the sound is extremely bassy. So whenever there was like some jump scares in there, it was very, very loud. And so the introduction of the wolf is very creepy, very like, and it, like, that wolf is just awesome. Like, everything that it can do, I was like, man, like, this is a monster that I'm a fan of now, and I'm especially a fan of George just because he's really cool. Rampage is definitely one of those movies that is not great all the way through. It kind of does this, where you just kind of like, oh, I really like this, and then it's like, and it's starting to get a little boring. Then you go like, it just does that a lot. I told Ryan coming out of the theater, this movie was as good as it was going to be. Like, I don't see how anybody could have taken this premise and really made it great. It's one of those movies, like, I don't feel like it was going to be great no matter what they did, because it's a silly, very silly thing. 3 giant monsters that grow because of something landing from space, and it's a very silly premise, but the fact that they were able to make it kind of serious and kind of like with a good story to it was very hard to do. So I applaud the director for giving it a shot, like just giving it the shot of like, he made it a actually solid movie, not great, but I still put it right at good, like a good movie, but with some problems, and every movie has issues. This one definitely has them. But it's still a fun, blockbuster type of movie to go see in the summer. I would tell pretty much anybody, like, even though this wasn't a great movie, this is a theater experience. Go and watch this. I saw it in the loudest and biggest screen possible in my theater, and it was amazing in that way. Very bassy. Every time there was, like, you know, a monster, like, doing something to another monster or crashing into a building or whatever. It was very loud and very, very cool to watch in that huge of a scope, and it made sense. Big monsters and a big screen. Rampage is a movie that let me down about a few things, but I wasn't expecting a lot. I kept my expectations low, and I'm glad that it did. I did not expect this movie to be awesome, and it sure was not on the scale of like amazing and awesome, but it was still a solid film, and just go see it in a theater, and go see it for some awesome monster fights, especially if you're like a Godzilla fan or a Kong fan. You'll still get enjoyment out of this movie in some way, or you'll just think it sucks, and that's okay because it's your opinion, and mine is that it's going to get about a 7 out of 10. Go into this movie for the cool monster fights and that relationship between The Rock's character and George. It's an amazing relationship, and honestly, like, if they were to make a sequel, I'd probably be there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please keep up with me here on the channel. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and especially hit that like button. Make it shine blue for more movie reviews, guys. Definitely, if you want to see movie reviews, comment below, like the video, share if you want. Go see Rampage, because it's still a lot of fun, and you'll be seeing me in the next video. Try out, and peace out.
Huh.